I'm Shelley Hughes, and I'm running for governor of the great state of Alaska. In this clip, I'm going to address the issue of trawling bycatch, and how, as your governor, we're going to once and for all stop the pillaging of our oceans, which is stealing fish from our tables and fish from the very livelihoods of Alaskans. It's like strip mining. We are witnessing what will be the second murdered fishery in the United States if we don't act now. The collapse of northeastern fish habitat, and now Alaska's, is not a coincidence. It's time to rebuild our fish stocks, and that means changes for trawl. As your next governor, I say, if trawling cannot share fish with Alaska, they cannot fish in Alaska. If trawling can't share fish with Alaska, they can move on. Now, the industry has a chance to work with us, and I hope they do. But whether they do or don't, the bottom line is this. There can be no more indiscriminate fishing. There can be no more poorly audited fishing. It's too late for easy answers. So here's the bottom line. The trawl bycatch limit should never be more than Alaskan's limit. As your governor, I have a plan, and by nature, I am incredibly persistent and have solid experience getting solutions across the finish line. We will solve this. Keep listening to this clip, because I'm going to lay out a specific plan with feasible action steps. First, let me make it very clear. I am pro-fishing, pro-sport fishing, pro-Alaskans harvesting for subsistence and personal use, pro-commercial fishing. I want to make an important point about commercial fishing, though, before moving on. I'm not opposed to industry, even large industry, harvesting extra fish after Alaska's interests are fulfilled first, after our subsistence and personal use needs are met, after Alaska's economy's needs are met, after our ecosystem is in good shape to benefit Alaskans to ensure the harvest we need. I am not an eco-zealot. The fishing industry is good for Alaska, but so are fish for Alaskans. Our fields must be healthy if we expect to harvest and benefit and profit from the crops every year. This is a states' rights issue. Alaskans first. I am pro-fishermen of every stripe, but I'm not afraid to tell the feds, get your hands out of our pie. Now, I'll provide a little data to define the problem and then clearly outline the plan I'll execute starting on day one as your governor. First, the data. Now stay awake because it is fascinating. The trawling industry takes 3 billion pounds of pollock each year. The industry claims the bycatch is just 1 to 2%, but that's very deceiving because that is just in relation to their pollock take. The bycatch is actually higher than that because trawlers harvest another 1 billion pounds of target species besides pollock with a much higher bycatch rate. The bycatch is actually 141 million pounds per year, according to NOAA. That's 1.4 billion pounds of bycatch per decade. Now this will shock you. That's 16,000 pounds of waste per hour. So what does this mean to Alaskans? What exactly is being wasted in the bycatch? 43,000 king salmon are being wasted. And bear in mind, this is alongside a minimum of 12 years of complete closure on the Yukon-Kuskokwim kings. That's 43,000 king salmon in 1 year, and that's the year 2024, by the way. We're also wasting 4.5 million pounds of halibut, and that is triple what guided fishermen can catch under restrictions. We're wasting 3 million pounds of herring, and that actually exceeds the allowance, by the way. Even a killer whale was wasted. So, where trawling occurs, what declines besides what I just listed? The number of crab decline. We already mentioned salmon. Gray whales decline. Seabirds. In the Pribilof Islands, we're seeing a decline in fur seal. And the size at age of halibut, that has crashed. So that's the data defining the problem and how vast it is. So I promised you I'd also outline my plan to stop the bycatch problem. It's a three-pronged approach. We will ensure our 6 Alaskan seats on the North Pacific Fisheries Management Council are on the same page. We will set the precedent in state waters and in our state regulations and statutes. We will apply pressure on the federal administration and work with our federal delegation. So I'm not about one-liners and rhetoric, so I'm going to get specific. Let's drill down to action steps. The first thing we must address is the Northern Pacific Fisheries Management Council. Four things having to do with that council. Day one is your governor. My Alaska Department of Fish and Game Commissioner is going to make no-nonsense motions for these following common sense regulations. Number one, put a limit on chum salmon bycatch. Number two, prohibit midwater trawlers from bottom fishing. They must stay midwater. Number three, prohibit trawling where there are halibut nurseries. And number four, as your governor, I will replace the 6 Alaskan seats on the council over my term with members who agree on what I just listed and will stick together and vote with the commissioner. And a caveat, if I learn that the appointments are at will and it's allowable under federal law, I'll replace all 6 seats right away. And if that's not allowable, I'll press our delegation to try to add at-will language to the Magnuson-Stevens Act renewal that's due up this coming year in 2026. So that's my number one, my plan for seats and policy changes at the council level. Number two, we will set the precedent in state waters. You know, that's the from the shore out to 3 miles. So there's 5 things we're going to do to set the precedent in state waters. We're going to require electronic monitor be on in state waters 24/7, and boats that have cameras on board and are required in federal waters to run them, they would be required to run their cameras while fishing in state waters. Number two, we're going to require observers in state waters who will have enforcement duties. And that part of that will be they will receive specific training so they don't miss a beat and nothing is hidden from their view. Number three, we're going to give authority to troopers to be undercover observers. Number four, we're going to impose penalties with increasing severity for violations. And I'll give a couple examples. This won't be the final, but an example might be $1 million for disturbing the floor habitat, $100,000 for each wasted fish. Penalties for violation, as I said, a re-violation could be as bad as confiscating their vessel. So, fifth thing we need to do is add a fee to the landing fee to make up for the impact on food security and our economic security. It's not a solution, but it's a compensation for the millions of dollars of impact on Alaskans. Fewer fish on our table, loss to user groups, the amount of economic loss, especially to the people of the YK Delta, to make up for their lost salmon is huge. The loss to the halibut and crab fishery has also been very high. So an added fee to the landing fee doesn't solve the problem, but it deters it and makes up for the damage, and it is something the state can do. So that's number two, what we can do as a state where we have direct jurisdiction in state waters and in our state statutes and regulations. So the third step and area that I will work on day one. Number three, press the Trump administration and work with our federal delegation to add language to the Magnuson-Stevens Act renewal legislation or in another bill. So this time there are 6 things in this category. Number one, we will add at-will language for the council membership so the governor can replace the 6 Alaskan members at once or at any time if this language isn't already in the act. Number two, we'll define pollock as forage fish for purposes of NOAA regulations. Number three, we'll put a limit on chum salmon bycatch. Number four, we will prohibit mid-water trawlers from bottom fishing. They must stay mid-water, as I said earlier. Number five, prohibit trawling where there are halibut nurseries. We will ratchet down bycatch quotas as our biomass declines. They were created 20 years ago, and our biomass situation has changed. When the chum on the YK is completely shut down, should a bycatch limit ever be higher than the subsistence limit for a given species? I say no. Bycatch limits for a species should never be higher than what Alaskan users are allowed to catch and keep, especially those Alaskans who rely on fish for their sustenance, for food for their tables. So let's be frank. Trawling is like hunting moose with an army tank. We like our snow plows, but fish plows are not okay. Some are calling this robbery on the high seas, and I don't disagree. Things are going to change. We are going to get this right. We are going to right this wrong. As your governor, this scrape and take ethos, this scrape and take identity of Alaska is going to end. Let me conclude on this. I am standing up for you Alaskans on this issue. You can bet the trawling industry dollars won't be coming my way. So I'm going to need your strong support, your vote, your commitment. I am the people's candidate. I'm not owned by big interest. I'm not owned by special interests. I am your candidate. I am Alaskans' candidate. And as I've always been forthright, upfront, and honest with Alaskans, I'm going to tell you exactly what I need to get this job done for you, to stop the scrape and take. I need your financial support to win, whether it's $5 or $50,000 or anything in between. Your support will get me closer to the finish line. So thank you for joining me in this discussion of a fisheries issue we can't dismiss and absolutely must solve. As your next governor, I'm on board to get the tough job done. We once and for all must stop this taking and scraping, the raping and pillaging, and ensure Alaskans' fisheries needs are met first.
Paid for by Alaskan Hughes, P.O. Box 1496, Palmer, Alaska 99645.